Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Clearly Thriving. I'm Allison Clay,
And I'm Siri Harkins.
and we are thriving, clearly.
Clearly,
Siri, what are you drinking today?
a Diet Coke that I'm going to open now. It's open.
I have a kombucha that's already open. We're giggling because my dog is actively trying to lick my mouth.
Yes.
It's going really well.
Yep. It's a great time.
Lila's had a pretty fun day so far. So the content project that I need to be focusing on is about Lila. Um, so I had to make her it's for like a dog calming collar.
Mm.
And so we're doing like the before and after stuff. So we were doing some of the before stuff. So I had to make her pant so she looked anxious. So I got her little duck toy, which is the only one really that she'll like get amped about, you know? And we played for like, I don't know, like half an hour maybe. Because my dog is not super playful. She's pretty good just to sit there. She'd rather cuddle. Um, and so she would like go pick up her toy when I'd throw it, and I'd have to like encourage her hard to like run. And she did the thing where she was like, I'm done, and like wasn't gonna pick it up again. So then I would have to run like I was gonna get it, and then she'd be like, oh shit, no, I got it, I got it. So we did that for a long time, and I think it worked because she is panting in the video.
Oh my gosh. Good job, Lila.
Yep. It's like working with babies.
What do they say? Don't work with pets and babies.
No, I only do one for now. Hopefully, always.
Mhm.
Anyway, how was your day?
It was fine. Today was the last day of school. It doesn't really feel like the last day of school because I still have to go in tomorrow and the next day for paid training days, but they're
Mhm.
additional paid training days, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But it just, it doesn't have that like final feel. So that's odd. I don't know, feels a little lackluster. I'm also moving classrooms, of course, and didn't really know solidly until today. And I definitely don't have enough boxes for all my stuff, so that's super fun. But it is what it is. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's end of a school year. Next year's going to be very different. I actually feel like next year's, well, I don't want to put anything on it, but I'm not really excited for next year if I'm being really honest, but it's
Oh,
okay. It's fine.
right. Um, you had a graduation last night.
hmm Yep. All my seniors graduated.
Yay!
Actually, that's not even true, but
Well, that's why I was yaying.
I know not all of them did.
All right.
But it was fun. It was cute. It was nice to have a graduation ceremony, something positive. So that was
Yeah,
cool. hmm
good. On Sunday, I guess, I was going to Dunkin' to get sustenance. And so I passed the high school where I live, which is not the high school you teach at. Um, and there were so many people like filing in, and there was a line, and everyone was dressed up, and I was like, must be graduation.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cute. Yeah. It's always like fun to see the families like cheering on the kids. So it
Yeah,
was cool. So that was nice.
good,
You know,
good.
just cut into my normal Monday routine, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's once a year.
Yeah, no, I probably won't do it next year, but
I like that you took your master's robe.
yeah.
Good.
Because if you sign up to Robe Up, it's like you either bring your own or you borrow one of theirs. So I have one. Why would I borrow one? Especially when they don't, it's not like they order the correct thing. So everyone's just in like a random master's hood.
Great.
And like the colors mean something on those hoods.
Yeah.
But like I'll look at some people's and I'll be like, because it's supposed to be like the color on the outside of the hood is your degree. And then the inside colors are your school colors. So they just like have these like random colored hoods. And I'm like, what even is that?
Great.
And my hood, my school colors were blue and yellow. So everyone out here is like, oh, UCLA. And I'm like, no,
No.
but sure. And then my color is like a marigold yellow or like a goldenrod or whatever.
Mhm.
And most people would have a light blue because the light blue is education, like a master of education. And I'm like, no, I have a master of science.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
mhm.
In education
Well, in
or
teaching,
teaching.
yeah, master of science in teaching. Specifically, we went into data analysis. So it's really funny. Our current administration team is super about data, but like every time they present us with data at our meetings, I'm like, who put this together? Like, you do realize you're talking to a room full of professionals who probably have master's degrees, who probably know how to look at and organize their own raw data sets, but you're giving us this poorly designed bar graph from a company. Interesting.
Great.
I'm gonna go ahead and criticize this because that's what my master's degree is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, yep.
Yep. No, Siri has a master's of science, but I'm not allowed to call her a scientist.
I'm not a scientist,
You have a master of science.
just a degree.
No, well, technically.
Yeah. So what's really funny is with my school district that I work for, to work your way up the salary table, it's, an X and a Y axis kind of a situation. So one of them is just your years as a teacher. The other one is, they call them salary points. So if you take college classes, that's salary points. So like a 3 credit semester course is 3 salary points. Um, my master's degree did not stick me very high up the pay scale, unfortunately, on that.
Which is shocking.
Yeah, super weird. Because like in Minnesota in my district, that was like I was pretty much maxed out. And then it would just be like years. And then if I got any more schooling, whatever. Anyway, like it was a much bigger deal
Mhm.
there. But the way they do it, it's based on your units. And my master's degree was a shorter program. Like I have a master's degree, but it was just 2 additional classes on top of my credential program.
Oh,
So that's why. But anyway, so what most people do is they try to just like take these random classes, or they'll find there are like different programs that offer different like salary point classes or like college credit classes that you can do to bump yourself up the scale salary points wise. And so
mhm.
I was talking to my mom about it. She's like, oh, did you put any other thought into taking classes? And so I told her I signed up at one of the community colleges, but I'm just kind of waiting because I'm not super like set on if I want to take the class I've signed up for. It's an online class. And my mom was kind of like, well, why would you just take random classes when you could just take a class at a time that would actually work towards a doctorate?
Doctorate.
And I was like,
I've been explicitly told by you multiple times to not let you do that.
but at the same time, if I need to take
That's,
random fucking
yeah,
classes to
I
maximize
mean,
my earnings, I'm like, it's not a bad point, Shar. She's like, she's like, you could take one class at a time. She's like, you
I
don't have
mean,
to
that
fit it.
would be the way to do it.
Yeah, I'm like, this is true. This is true.
All right.
So that's where we're at right now. I don't know how to feel about it.
All right.
Hmm. But it's looking like that might be another step.
All right. I'm a doctor of nothing, master of none.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I should be really excited. So I'm teaching theater next year. I have 4 classes on my supposed line. I guess we don't like fully know yet, but like that's what I've been told. Um, but it's really interesting, right? Because in my mind, I'm like, this is a theater class.
Mhm.
This is a theater class offered at school. But I've realized that every person I talk to has a very different idea of what it means to be a theater teacher. So for me, I'm like, no, this is going to be a course with a curriculum with different units of study.
Mhm.
Like Maybe we'll do a musical theater unit. Maybe we'll do an improv unit. We'll probably talk about technical theater. Like we'll probably talk about stagecraft, maybe costuming,
Yeah.
things like that. Like it's going to be a class like that. And like maybe I'll put together some sort of performance aspect like more like a recital kind of a thing,
Hmm.
right? For the class, like a showcase, if you will.
Yeah.
Like nothing that requires extensive rehearsal process. So in my mind, the theater class, the academic elective class, is separate
Yeah.
from an after school program and full-fledged production because the after school and full-fledged production stuff is not included in my salary.
Hmm.
I would not get paid extra for that. Um, and I've just decided I'm not interested in being committed to that part of it. So it's kind of funny. I think people have this assumption that I'm going to launch a whole program. And I'm like, I'm teaching the theater class. I'm like, if you all expect an after school production, that's going to be somebody else because I'm not your girl. I've never directed a play. I don't need to start now. I don't really have an interest in doing that, to be completely honest. Um, so I mean, I've talked to our after school program, so they know they've like kind of started to work it in their budget, but I'm gonna outsource that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if whoever comes in to do that piece needs my help with things within the theater class, sure. But I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. I mean, that's not something you're compensated for, and we don't do work for free.
Yeah,
So,
I don't work for free, and when my contract hours are up, I go home.
yeah,
I have a life, and I'm going to work very hard to maintain my very clear, very strong boundaries
boundaries. Yep.
with work-life balance.
Yep.
I've been doing a pretty good job.
Hmm.
Like this year, I've had a little bit more things that I've like said yes to in terms of chaperoning and like even like graduation stuff like that. But like just especially when it comes to that theater program aspect, I'm like, I'm teaching
The class.
the elective class. Everything else is something completely different. If I have a group of students that want to do X, Y, and Z, that's cool. But like I can find them another sponsor.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's where I'm at. But it's just really funny just talking to different people, the assumptions that happen. And I'm like, don't know where you're pulling that from. And people are like, you don't have to do after school, like rehearsals and stuff for a production and da da da. I'm like, you kind of
Do.
do. You kind of do. And I will not be doing that. Because you know what? At the end of the school day, I want to go home.
Yeah.
I would like to go home to my dogs
Mhm.
and hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
Like, this is not my life.
No,
This is my career.
this is a job.
This is a job. Happy to be here. I'm really thrilled. I'm excited about the idea of working on a theater curriculum, but like, it's going to be a theater class.
Yeah.
It's a theater class. Anyway.
Right, Lila. She's like, yeah.
But that's where I'm at because everyone just like assumes like, oh, you're going to be so busy next year. And I was like, why do you
No.
say that? Like, I'm not doing any part of an after school program. I will have no part of that. Thank you very much. I will help find someone who is willing to do that part, but that it won't be me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I think that's okay.
Mhm. If that was an expectation, it should have been communicated with me.
Yeah.
And then I could have been given the opportunity to be like, no, thank you. I'll just teach English.
Yeah.
Yep. Right, Layla. Right, Layla.
Lila's aunt.
Yes.
Yeah. Um,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. I leave a week from today,
Oh my gosh.
going to my parents. I'm driving with both animals by myself.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh. Um, so that'll be fun. I've booked nothing, so I gotta get on that. Um, So, yep. And I'll be at my parents' for a couple weeks, and then I go to Florida to film a movie, which is exciting.
Yes.
And then I wrap that movie. The next morning, I take a flight back to LA, and then hopefully have time to like get groceries or something. Because the very next morning I start an intensive that I got into, and I will be very busy and tired and probably overwhelmed and probably a little bit jet lagged.
Yes.
Because then I'll have been,
Convene.
yeah, I'll have been in 3 time zones in a week. So that'll be fun for me and probably you, because I'll probably be whiny. Um, she's like, I'm so used to that. What do you mean? Yep,
Yeah.
gonna be great. I'm excited. Bless you, Lila.
Wow. Oh, sneezed.
Lots of sneezes. All right. Lila is gonna have such a good time at the lake.
Yes.
She always has a good time there because she has lots more laps to sit in and lots more hands to pet her.
Mhm.
And then Frosty is there. That's my parents' dog. He and Lila get along pretty well. He's more obsessed with Lila than she is obsessed with him. Um, but she's getting better at like establishing her own boundaries.
Good job, Lila.
But yeah, she loves it there. And she's like, it's so funny because my parents do not let Frosty outside off leash ever. Never. Not a thing. Lila, I rarely put her leash on her while we're there because she comes when I call her. She doesn't run fast, first of all.
Yeah.
She literally was just trying to walk behind me and tripped and just accepted her fate. And now she's just laying in this little crevice. She just sighed. She's like, yep, that is what happened. Um, so yeah, but Lila sometimes at my parents, because they have like an acre of land, she'll get the zoomies and she just runs in circles. And then she does go fast, but she just goes in circles and she has a great time. And then she'll do the thing where she like has to stop real quick and she'll like, but her butt's up in the air and her tail is just going crazy and it's great.
Good job.
I love it for her. Winston does not like it there as much because he and Frosty do not get along. I think Winston would be fine with Frosty if Frosty was fine with Winston. Frosty just, I think it's like an alpha male situation. Um, yeah, so he and Frosty are not buds. So Winston pretty much just stays in my room there, which now they've got all my stuff situated in the loft. So now he'll have that whole upstairs area. Um,
Yeah, might be happier there.
yeah,
Chilling.
fingers crossed. I mean, when we were there at Christmas, my bedroom was already up there and he was fine. He did come down a few times,
Yeah.
um, and like socialized.
He's laying on your bed right now and he looks so cute.
Last night, I took a picture because it was so precious. I got out of the shower and he was asleep on my bed, which is normal. This is how he was when I came out. He's like just stretched out on his back, belly up, but then with like one arm up over his head. It's precious. And then at one point, I look over and he's moved. So in this first photo, you can see his toy is
Yes.
next to him, like a couple inches away. Then in the next photo, he's moved
Cuddling the
it.
toy.
He's
Oh,
moved it and he's like got his head on top of it. You can just barely see it sticking out. And he just was kind of using it as a pillow. And I was like, that is the cutest thing.
good.
Yeah. So
Good job, Winston.
it was really precious.
Way to be adorable.
Yeah. There was one day last week where I only got like 4 hours of sleep because Winston kept me up all night. He has not done that since, thank God.
These are good things.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's only Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So good that he hasn't done that again. It's very rare that that happens. Like that had not happened
A long
in
time.
years,
Yeah.
probably. Yeah, but he just decided. I think he really just wanted attention because there were a couple of days where I was not home really at all, like literally just to sleep. And it was in that little spread of days. Um, so I really think he just wanted attention because he would like knock something off of my desk and then I'd be like, Winston. And then as soon as I would say his name, he would come lay on top of me and like start purring and like I'd pet him and eventually I'd go back to sleep because you're cuddling me. I'm gonna go to sleep. And he didn't want that. He wanted conscious cuddles. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But he's napping right now, so hopefully that goes well for me later. Yeah. This past weekend, we had the Tony Awards,
Yes.
which we were very excited for because we had actually seen a decent number of the
Hmm.
nominees this year. Definitely a few that opened after we had already left that I want to see. Um, I thought this Tony show, I thought it was probably one of the best ones in a long time.
Yeah, it was really entertaining to
Like,
watch. The performances were really good and
I really like the era of theater that we're in right now, where it's back to being fun.
yeah.
Because for a long time, everything was just like hyper realistic. And if you don't have the audience sobbing, thinking their child drowned in the bathtub too, then you've done it wrong. Which like that does have a time and a place, and I love a good emotional performance like that. Um, but I also really enjoy the classic, like, and it is, I was thinking about it earlier today, like, they say like time is in history or cyclical, so like every 100 years there's like parallels.
Hmm.
That's like
It's what's happening. Yeah.
the 20s and 30s in theater.
Hmm.
Friends, brace yourself. And that's what's happening. Like even the costumes that we saw in the Tony performances, like
Yeah.
they were great. So I really enjoyed that. I love like showy numbers. I love big ensemble numbers. I love sequins. I love headdresses. I love tap. I love all of these things that are being featured this season. And so the show itself was really fun. It moved really quickly. Like that's a 3 hour, and it only went over 10 minutes,
Yeah.
which pretty good. The theater people, we know how to run on a schedule.
Hmm.
Not like the Oscars, because a 10-hour day turns into a 17-hour day for film, but in theater,
Yeah. Tip top.
uh-huh.
Hmm.
Anyway, so it moved really quickly. I thought the performances were well dispersed. Um, Everyone looked amazing. The wardrobe of the attendees was great. The people, whoever was like calling the cameras, just had like a sixth sense or something.
Yeah. No, it was great.
It was great. Um, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I don't think any of the people I wanted to win won.
No, literally not a one.
I think the only one
I
that,
guess maybe like Cole.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Um, yeah, I mean, I called a couple of them correctly,
Hmm.
but it would be like, I think this person's gonna win, but if I were to pick, I would pick this other person, but I think this first person's probably gonna win. And then,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think the only one that went like I wanted it to go was costumes for Death Becomes Her, which
Yeah.
I have noticed now all of their advertising already says Tony winning musical. And I'm like, I love the wording you use there because you're not wrong.
Yeah. I still feel like the biggest upset.
Nicole Scherzinger.
Yes. 100%. Because like, okay, maybe happy endings. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like, you know what, whatever, sure. But like that one, I was like, are you
Yeah, that
kidding me?
also I saw on TikTok, I don't know if I sent it to you, I don't think I did, but it was like kind of a side by side of her performance and Audra's performance. Everyone on TikTok is like, that was the weakest performance of the night. Like there weren't tears. Her eyes were clear. Like
Oh, I forgot she performed, actually.
that was probably the worst
I'm going
performance
to
of
be
the night.
so honest. I forgot she performed because I thought it was so boring.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
forgot about it.
It looked nice. But yeah, it moved. That number is not the number I would have chosen from that show. I understand why they chose it because that was their big nomination. Actually, no, because they won Best Revival. They should have done an ensemble number probably. Anyway, it looked nice. The
She's
lighting.
beautiful.
Yeah, she sings very well.
Yes.
Just the emotion was not there. And yeah. And TikTok is not satisfied. I've really been enjoying all of the reaction videos. Um, yeah. Did you see the one I sent you where Cole was literally waiting in the press lounge? They were waiting for best actors to be announced so that they could do like the big photo op with the big
Mhm.
wins. Um, and so he's like at the microphone with another winner. I don't remember who. Um, Cole is at the microphone and you can like kind of hear the speaker. And then Cole goes, wait, what did they say? Who won? And then one of the reporters goes, Nicole Scherzinger. And Cole goes, oh. I also really loved their outfit. I used the wrong pronoun earlier.
It's
It's fine. I loved their outfit because it was a nod to Bernadette Peters' dress that she wore when she won her Tony in 1999, which I believe was for Annie Get Your Gun. Um, and then I sent you on Instagram, she like posted, um, or not posted, but she somebody asked her what she thought about their outfit, and she said, I thought they looked great when I wore it. I wore my chest hair a little differently.
oh my gosh.
And she was like, but most importantly, congrats.
Great.
I thought that was great. Apparently, we're getting live updates for a fire that's close to where we are right now.
Yeah. Evacuations now in place north of Walnut to the Bel Air ball field and east of Bel Air. But I'm trying to like, I mean, it's the closest to me,
Mm,
but like I'm over here.
yeah,
So I would have to go because it's gonna go this way. Let's be real.
yeah.
Look at all this green.
There's more ways for it to go.
So it makes sense, these evacuations, because I know what Bel Air Road is. That's, this one. So obviously,
Mm-hmm.
these are what's being like,
Yeah,
obviously, are you kidding me?
yeah.
This is what's being evacuated right now.
How big is it right now?
It says 8 acres, but I think it's 10. I think this isn't being updated super,
Yeah,
super well.
I guess I need to re-download Watch Duty.
Yeah. This
Great.
is wonderful. Like I'm supposed to have PD tomorrow, but I'm like, if there's a fire that's still happening this close to where I live, I'm not going to fucking work. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I can go in another day to pack up my classroom or not, because you know what?
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
So that's fun.
That's good. That's wonderful.
Anyway, Tony's were fun.
Oh yeah, Allison made like all these themed
I am nothing if not a great host.
yes. So yeah, everything was themed. She had like a charcuterie.
We had our charcuterie was called Maybe Happy Charcuterie for Maybe Happy Ending. Then we had for beverages, we had the Betty Boop, which is basically a Roy Rogers, but I rethemed it because Betty Boop.
mhm.
Then we had Sempraviva, which was champagne, fuchsia, edible glitter. The color was perfect. And then I had a couple different mixer options that would keep the same desired effect.
Mhm.
Um, so that was good. It was fun. We had Mama Rose's egg rolls for Gypsy. We had a veggie tray that I labeled RIP Redwood. Then we had chips and salsa, which I labeled Stephen Sondheim's old friends because they're classics and they're at every event.
Yeah.
Um, we had
Smash.
Yeah, we had the dessert was Smash themed. And I had seen this thing on Pinterest because I wanted a Smash themed dessert. I had seen this thing on Pinterest where someone got like a um a white cupcake with white icing that's just in a basic swirl pattern. And then they had put like a cupcake pic of Marilyn Monroe from like the classic iconic dress photo. So then that way the icing looked like her dress. And I was like, that looks great. It would be relatively easy. Those cupcake pics don't exist. So I ordered clear acrylic cupcake pics and then printed the photo, cut it out, attached it to the cupcake pics.
This was like the trickiest dessert.
This is of all the things, this was the most effort.
Mhm.
Um, so when it was time Sunday morning to go find these cupcakes, I got up at like 7 a.m. because I didn't know how long it was going to take. I was trying to be optimistic.
Mhm.
So on Sunday morning, by noon on Sunday, I had been to 10 stores. I well, I looked at Target the day before and they didn't have them. So technically 11 stores, but that was on Saturday. So my Sunday started first at Dunkin' Donuts because I needed coffee. And then I went to Ralph's, Sprouts, Vaughn's, Trader Joe's, another Ralph's, Pavilions, another Ralph's, another Vaughn's, and then finally Whole Foods. And at Whole Foods, they did not have cupcakes like I wanted. This photo Siri took of Lila stuck back there. Show the people. She's just accepted her
She's
fate.
like squished. It's so funny.
Anyway, Whole Foods did not have the cupcakes like I wanted, but at this point I was really annoyed. So I was willing to be a little creative. But they did have like little cute desserts. And so I got four little lemon tarts and then two mini raspberry cheesecakes. And they all had the little white swirl on top. And I was like, it's not perfect, but it's just gonna have to work.
Mhm.
And they put them in three containers, two desserts in each container. So that's what we were working with. I had three containers full of six desserts. I get home, I'm talking to my mom on the phone, explaining my morning and just kind of venting. And I'm getting out of my car, and one of the containers, I don't even know how it happened. I really don't. One of the containers just slid and hit the pavement, broke open. The two lemon tarts in that container went into the dirt. Ants immediately were like, yes! So I like picked them up real quick and brought them inside, and I was cursing, obviously. And I threw that away. There were ants in the container that when I threw it away. Um, there still was whipped cream on the sidewalk the next morning. Um, and so I came in, I was so annoyed. And for a while, I was like, it's fine. One person just won't get dessert, whatever. And I was like, I just want to have dessert, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. So I was home long enough to make my cupcake picks. And then by the time that was done, I had come to terms with going back to Whole Foods. So I went back to Whole Foods. I got two more lemon tarts, and then we had four lemon tarts.
Great.
And it was fine.
It really is fine.
Yeah, it was just a time.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They looked cute, the ones
they
that you
did.
had.
Oh, also in our Semperviva, we had little glow
Oh
cubes
yeah.
so that it lit up pink.
Hmm.
They were great, honestly. They looked
Like,
perfect.
I really love that we found the ones that were just pink.
Pink. And it came in a pack of 50. I used six.
Perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to a Mexican party, um, and they had a full-fledged bar, like a hired out bar company. Like people go hard, man. Like there were porta potties for the backyard, like the whole thing. There was a band. I mean, they only spoke Spanish. It made sense. But every once in a while, Kevin would be like, "Did you know what they just said?" And I'm like, "No." They're talking really fast right now. But anyway, the drinks that they made at the bar, they had these little glow lights, and I was like, "Wait a minute, we should see if we can find those." And we did, and they
We
had them
did.
in every color imaginable. And I was like, "Yes,
So we got the pink.
yes."
Those drinks honestly looked great.
I think people really liked them
Um, so Siri and our friend Alec went home pretty soon after the Tony Awards were over.
because we had to work the next day
Well,
very early.
yeah, I I'm irresponsible. Um,
Whatever.
so they left when the Tonys were over, which was like 8.
8:30. I think we
Yeah.
left around 8:30. I
Um,
kind of just like dipped. I was like, all right, I'm leaving. And then I just left.
yeah. Jasenia and I stayed because why would we? I live here. I'm not going anywhere. Anyway, so we like were watching stuff on YouTube. Um, and then my roommate Ari got home, and Ari and Jasenia always have fun talking because they,
Oh yeah, they both like the same like animes and things.
yeah,
Yeah.
and games.
Hmm.
So then when Ari got home, she hung out with us, and they were like talking, blah blah blah. We're all drinking, whatever. And then I look at my phone at one point, and I think it says 10:02. It said 1:02.
Hmm.
And I said, oh, oh no, 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 no. Because I had a fitting the next morning. Um, so I
Hmm.
started cleaning up, and then Jasenia looked at her phone and she was like, oh, I have to work in the morning.
Like, yes. Yes.
So then she left, and then I like barely put things away. Um, I had like leftover cheese and crackers for lunch today, and I couldn't remember where I put the crackers.
Oh.
I found them, they're fine.
All right.
Um, so I like did not shower, which I shower every single night without fail. I did not shower. I literally just took off my makeup and put on my moisturizer and then went to bed. Like I didn't wash my face. I didn't do my skincare. I just like and then I had to go to my fitting kind of early the next morning, and I went to my fitting and I was like, I might be dying. And then I came home and I took a nice long couch nap. Tony's were fun.
Yes.
In my heart, death becomes her one everything. In my heart, it was a three-way tie
Hmm.
for Best Actress in a Musical, and it was Audra, Jennifer, and Megan.
Hmm.
I also liked, I sent you a TikTok, and the guy was like, the Tony voters after seeing Audra's performance, and they're like, shit, shit, shit.
So good.
That, yeah, that was a, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yep. Oh well. Whatever. Whatever.
And then someone on TikTok was like, kind of panicking because they were like, what does this mean for the longevity of the show? And so then somebody like stitched it and they were like, you know what didn't win a single Tony when it was up? Wicked. Like, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. I'm like just thinking about Death Becomes Her too. Like that's gonna be a show that people love forever,
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
doesn't have to win all the Tonys, I guess.
Well, it was my winner.
Hmm. In my heart.
Yes.
Lila looks so funny.
She has not moved since she fell.
And there's like her squished little eyes, and she's like,
She literally, I felt her trip because I think the goal was to go behind and around me and wind up on you. Um, I felt her trip and then I just felt her give up.
She's just there.
She's like, I live here now.
I'll excuse you,
And then she just birthed.
like, thank you for that.
Great. We are clearly thriving.
Yes.
Yep,
Yep.
going really well. Um, yeah.
It's a good time.
Summer starts for you.
Friday.
Yay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It doesn't feel real. It's not going to feel real until I'm sleeping in on Friday. Even then, I'll probably awake in a panic. And then I'll spend all summer panicking about next school year.
Great. That sounds
Hmm.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun time. I'm just so burnt out this year, so I'm just like, yeah,
I'm just here.
I'm just, yeah.
I'm just here.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think that will bring us to the end of this lovely episode of Clearly Thriving. I'm Allison Clay,
And I'm Siri
and
Harkins.
we are thriving. Clearly.
Clearly.